Hello, folks. I am Trevisa Bizelle, aka Miss Sinatra, and I'm going to be talking with y'all today about a person that I love from history, Mr. Francis Albert Sinatra. Um, I know quite a bit about him. I love him. I'm obsessed with his music, his movies, everything about him. He's from a different time era, but I feel like this is a good time to talk about him because people are getting away from that era of music and forgetting that it even existed. So I just want to put it back out there in people's head that it does exist and it's out there, and it just didn't hatch. This music that you're hearing today, it just didn't hatch out of people's heads. I mean, a lot of this stuff is from back in the day, and they just remade it, and they remade it. Recycling is what they pretty much did. I think that's a good word for it, recycle.
So, with all that in mind, where did your love for Sinatra come from?
I would say my love for Sinatra came when I was very young, and I seen a movie called Guys, Gals, and Dolls, and I just thought he was amazing, and I just wanted to know who he was, and I started listening to his music, and I just fell deeper and deeper in love with him from the age of 12 up till now.
Now, ultimately, you summed up in the beginning why you thought it was important for us to do a tribute video to Sinatra. But aside from what you already noted, what other reasons do you think is keen in us preserving that big band sound or that Sinatra era of music?
I think we should preserve it because the music is changing more and more every day. Half of it you can't understand. The other half of it is just, hate to say it, but it's garbage. It's not real music, guys. I mean, that's just how I feel. You can hate it, love it, but that's just my personal opinion. The music that comes from Sinatra's genre, with Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Sinatra, and to name a few more that's floating out there. Lena Horne, what's that guy's name from back in the day? What's the with the hat? Hottie. What's his name? Oh my God, I hate it when I do that. Cab Calloway. Cab Calloway. People are getting away from that music, and they're forgetting that it even existed, but it did exist. And just because you're black don't mean that you can't listen to this kind of music. Just because you're 19 doesn't mean you can't listen to that kind of music, because you got to remember all these people that come from that genre. They were 19 before once, and this music used to be pretty big, and it still is. You can never go wrong with the classics.
Can you speak briefly about his film and television appearances?
Okay, well, I don't really know too much about his film, but from what I do know about him, he was not at all interested in doing movies at first. I mean, he started doing movies like after he lost his voice. The woman that he was in love with, Miss Ava Gardner, she helped get him on the map, and she got him his first movie gig. And as a matter of fact, they didn't want to do it because they were taking a chance. They didn't know this guy as a wet actor. They knew him as a singer. So Frank made him a deal they couldn't refuse. He agreed to do the film for free, and it ended up being a total success. A total success. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe he won an award for it. Oh. And then he went along and doing other movies that he won awards for, such as The Man with the Golden Arm, Suddenly, and oh my God, I forget that one he did with Dorothy, with the girl who plays Dorothy. What's her name? Judy Garland. Yeah, I think it's Clouds, something with clouds. I can't remember, but it's a great movie, and he's good in all of them. He's so passionate whenever he does it. It just looks like the movie's real. You can feel the realness whenever he's in it. He's just amazing.
How about briefing us on his political ties and his political views?
Wow. Okay. Well, it shocked me when I found out that Frank had a lot to do with campaigning for quite a few presidents of the past. Mainly one that sticks to mind is John F. Kennedy. And this was back in '62. He even took the song High Hopes, and he remade it and to help campaign for John F. Kennedy campaign. And as you know, he won. But their friendship, it was hard for him to continue a friendship with this man, knowing he was the president, and Frank having the background and the friends that he had. It just wasn't gonna work. It's like adding oil to water. So he was banned from the White House, but later on, Ronald Reagan let him back in there.
Okay, how about his alleged criminal organization, mob type ties? What do you guys say about that?
He had several mob ties. As a matter of fact, I personally feel like he had the mob shake down a few of those guys that were in politics, that was trying to compete against the people that he was helping campaign for. I feel like he talked to his wise guys, as they put it. He talked to them and put a bug in their ear, and they took care of the problem. Of course, there's no proof. I can't prove it. I'm just saying. Right. That's what I feel like he did. And if you follow his life, I've read his biographies. I've read so many stories and looked at so many movies on him. And from what I've seen and read, that's the take I got on it.
Okay. I just want to let the people know that this is basically just an introductory video.
That's right.
To the works that she wants to speak on concerning Sinatra, all things Sinatra. With that in mind, is there anything else you want to add as far as Sinatra right now, just as from an introductory standpoint?
To me, Sinatra is probably the greatest entertainer that ever lived. Yeah, of course, hey, Michael Jackson is a whole nother, okay, don't get it twisted. Michael Jackson is great, he's wonderful, he's right here too, but Frank, man, I mean, he was before Michael, so I just say that, yeah, he was the best at what he did. He was the king, he was the voice, he was oh, Blue Eyes, and I would give anything if I could have just met him one time. Just shook his hand, had a drink with him.
Wow.
Sang a song with him, and he was really big on helping people of color. Whether you guys know that or not, he was all for us. I mean, he helped people like Ella Fitzgerald and Sammy Davis Jr. He helped make it easier for the newer black artists that are in the industry today. If it wasn't for his input that he did to help, there's no telling what would have happened to Sammy Davis Jr. Ella Fitzgerald and Sammy were great, but it helped their music get out to a whole nother world because Frank was on their team and basically pushing them to, pushing the world to give these people a chance. If I'm not mistaken, there was this one time where somebody was telling me about this story where Sinatra and Rat Pack go in the Sands or somewhere in Vegas, and the bartender looks at Sammy and says, "You got to go to the back and eat." And Sinatra tells them, if he got to go to the back, we're all leaving. And he wasn't just talking about him and the guys, he meant everybody. And they would have followed him because it's Frank. I mean, who's not going to go? I mean, I would
go. In conclusion, I just want to let the people know that some of the things that you'll be covering in some of your next videos, it'll be deeper than just Sinatra. You have a whole wide range of topics that you'll be covering.
Oh, yes.
But just for right now, the main focus is Sinatra. Mm-hmm. But just for a second, I just want to give the people just a little bit more of some of the things that you into.
Okay. Well, I right now, my other thing that I work on is art. This is a small but a very complicated piece that I did. I haven't painted anything in well over 20 years, but I painted this, and it made me feel just wonderful to know that I could still do this, and it was inspirational. Of course, I was listening to Frank when I created this. Frank can bring out the best or the worst in you depending on who you is, but with me, it brought this out, and there's more to come. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? So this is just one of many, and this is just one of many, this video. So you'll be seeing and hearing from us again, and maybe next time, who knows, you might get a song.
All right. for the record, I just want to let you know that this, to me, is one of the most important topics in videos that can be discussed and viewed at this current moment. This is a pleasure to be sitting beside you